Hey kids, George in the Dark by Madeline Valentine. Look at him. He looks a little afraid. Have you ever been afraid? Sometimes we get afraid. George in the Dark. George, he was a brave kid. Look at him jumping right over that dog. Neighbor kids are watching. They're like, wow, that guy's brave. And in fact, he was braver than most. So he'd swing like all the way around. I always wondered if I could do that. He stood up to bullies and he gave his sister back her pretty doll. And, well, like all brothers, he ate worms. That's pretty brave. He even climbed the tallest tree. And everybody down there is saying, hey, how'd you do that? He's brave. But bedtime was a different story. Yeah, he looks a little afraid. Every night was the same routine. Get a kiss from Dad, get a kiss from Mom, and pew, he's out the door. His parents were fed up. I don't want to go back in. There is absolutely nothing to be afraid of, they told him. You have your bear to keep you company, and if you wake up your sister, you will be in big trouble, mister. Oh, he must have shared a room, or maybe his sister was nearby, and his sister was hard to sleep. Have you ever sat there in the dark with your eyes wide open? I wonder if it looks like this. Well, in the dark, George, he did not feel brave. Everything was like dangerous looking. Dolls were staring at him. Dinosaurs were growling. Oh, even his picture. Oh, his picture looked scary. And the dinosaurs that he loved that picture, I'm sure. And suddenly they looked scary at night. And even his bed sheet made a funny little face on it. Probably wasn't on there, but in his mind, he was thinking that there was something scary. And in fact, he was terrified. So he'd roll up his blanket and he threw it. George hid under the covers and reached over to squeeze his bear. Oh, but it was nowhere to be found. Oh, no, said George, and he looked all around, even in some of the scariest places. Does your bed, underneath your bed, does that look scary to you? Maybe that was, he's looking for his teddy bear, and he doesn't know where it is. Did you see that back in the other page? Look closely. There goes his blanket. What do you see that looks... Oh, no. Then he saw it. In the scariest and darkest place. All alone. George wanted to scream. He wanted to call out to his mom and dad. Poor bear, said George. Sometimes the things that we want are in the scariest places. He tried to get his bear back the easy way. So he took his sheet and he tried to make a lasso, but it was no use. He would have to go rescue it. Remember, he was brave, wasn't he? He's got to get out of there. He's got to get out of his comfort zone and do it afraid. I will be brave, said George, and he crept, and things looked scary, and his dinosaurs looked all scary, and everything just looked all scary. Look at even his shelves and his toys. They all looked like, I'm going to get you. Well, George was daring, and George was courageous, and George, he was almost fearless. Yeah, do it afraid, George. Go get his bear. George swooped up his bear from the darkest place, and he ran. And he held him tight. "There's nothing to be scared of," he said. And George, he felt very brave. Everything's back to normal. Do you think most of that happened in his head? Yeah, most of it did. Sometimes, boys and girls, like starting school or starting something new or doing something, you kind of have to just do it afraid. And be brave, like George. George in the dark. Have a good day.